volume down. It's the judges, they're having problems hearing in the courtroom. These walls must be mighty thin. So anyway, we'll keep the volume down so the judges can hear. Oh, speaking of judges, that begs a question. With all the discrimination, with all the harassment and retaliation which is taking place in these buildings where the judges are located, why aren't they doing anything about it? Why are the judges, if you can hear me, I can't get too loud because I don't want to disrupt and have any court proceedings fouled up, but why aren't the judges doing anything about it? Speaking of judges, and let's say the Attorney General, why isn't the Attorney General, Anthony Brown, why isn't he doing anything about it? Why isn't Anthony Brown investigating these horrific Title VII violations, these 14th Amendment violations? You have folk, and this young man right here, get a good look at him. In order to get a vacation leave, he's making his people show paid receipts of hotels, show their airline tickets, show their trip itinerary so that they can get a better chance of getting an approval for a vacation leave. He wants to know where they're going. He wants to know how much they paid for the trip. He wants to know details. I guess the airline they're taking. This is the type of tyranny. Do you hear this, folks? Tyranny. This is the type of tyranny that is going on within the walls of justice in Baltimore City. Where's Sheila Dixon? Where's Brandon Scott? He's the mayor. What has Sheila Dixon done for civil rights? The civil rights being violated on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. The Maryland State Judiciary, specifically this court, is a disgrace. People need to know what is going on. They need to know that their parents, they need to know that their brothers and sisters, their cousins, their friends who work for the Baltimore City Circuit Court are having their rights taken away from them. They're having their rights taken away from them. They're under undue stress. They're scared to come out here. They're quiet. The reason they're quiet is because they don't want to be retaliated against by this young man who's a clerk of the court, who changed his name from Washington to Conaway so he could trick people. He can fool you all. Get in the office and run roughshod. It's a disgrace. Maryland State Judiciary, what's going on is a disgrace. And I want community activists, a super community activist, Hanlon Improvement Association President Linda Batts, please say some words, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Linda Batts, and I stand here not in my capacity as president of the Hanlon Improvement Association, but as a retired civil rights expert, leading labor and human resources advocate for the federal government with 45 years of continuous service, even post-retirement. But today, my role here is not only as one who understands discrimination through the technical lens through which it needs to be evaluated, but also to speak out as a taxpayer and as a citizen in Baltimore. We stand before two courthouses whose leaders bearing their name, Elijah Cummings and Clarence Mitchell, were freedom fighters and civil rights champions in the city of Baltimore. Their legacy is long-standing. The role of the judiciary in ensuring civil rights clearly is understood by all. We want to make certain that as taxpayers, those whose cases are heard at the civil level and at the criminal level are treated fairly and appropriately, and that cases are dispensed as quickly as possible and resolved with the evidence that's necessary to make correct decisions. But those cases cannot be handled by judges alone. The system of courts is administered through men and women, hardworking men and women, who come to work every day and expect to be treated in an environment of equity and fairness and the opportunity to express their issues and concerns without fear of retaliation. It is my hope that the commitments that the Chief Judge Barbara made in her strategic plan apply to the employees within the courthouses under the judiciary system. In her strategic plan, she talks about dispensing of cases promptly, building teamwork, resolving complaints at the lowest level possible, and doing the kinds of things that give the public the confidence that when their cases are heard in either one of these two buildings, that the people who work in these buildings and the judges who make the decisions are going to be doing so equitably and fairly. I looked on the website. There is an evaluation that taxpayers are encouraged to fill out that talk about their experiences with the court system. I would hope that similarly there is an evaluation system internal to the court system that gets feedback from employees on whether or not the processes within the courthouse are working fairly, equitably, and without discrimination. But equally as important, I think that the courts must be the initial model for resolving complaints at the lowest level possible, ensuring that employees have the freedom to express themselves without fear of recrimination and reprisal, and giving the taxpayers the ongoing confidence that complaints will be resolved and mitigated at the lowest level possible. If these things are not happening within our judiciary framework, then we have a problem that warrants full scrutiny and full investigation. And I just hope that the complaints that have brought us here today get resolved quickly, get resolved expeditiously, and get resolved at the lowest level possible to ensure not only minimum continued deference to the interests of the taxpayer, but also to limit any continued feelings of harassment, reprisal, intimidation, and coercion that the employees are experiencing. When we have a system that works like that, that allows employees to express themselves and allows the public to see that the courts are willing to work to resolve issues at the lowest level possible, then we have a system that is working in the best interest of Baltimore City and the taxpayer. I thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. And now he's running for mayor. He's a mayoral candidate for the mayor's seat. Before I bring Wendell Freeman up to the microphone, people need to understand that, you know what, there's not a lot of coverage here. You know why there's not coverage here with the media is because they don't want people to know, and Baltimore does not care about civil rights. Thurgood Marshall is turning in his grave. The NAACP, they're not here. Where are they? Is anyone from the NAACP here? No, because the NAACP does not care that employees working for the Maryland State Judiciary in Baltimore City are having their civil rights and their human rights stripped. The NAACP at one time was a beacon of protection, of fighting for the rights of citizens. They were a beacon. They were the pinnacle, the top. But now you have an NAACP, you have a Baltimore City, you have a mayor, Brandon Scott, who they don't care about civil rights for employees in the city of Baltimore City, and they're showing it today, and they have continued to show it. Now I want to bring up Wendell Freeman to give a few words.
Thank you. It's funny how they want us to keep it down, but they got the disrespect for us high. It's kind of ridiculous to me. But okay. Again, my name is Wendell Freeman, and like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again. Right now, we still live in a time where, specifically, our women are being in the most not only harassment, but unthinkable conditions at work. Any opportunity job that you work, you make a sexual harassment claim in most jobs, they get taken care of. You make a claim of misappropriation of anything, it gets taken care of. But when you work for the city of Baltimore and you work for the government, it seemed like we've been putting corrupt politicians over the people for too long. And for me, it's time for a change. It's time to change the union. If they don't want to do what they have to do, we can change them. We need to change them. I want you to look at, who's here right now. I asked for 100 black men again, and I'm disappointed. I don't see a few. It's disappointing, right? I asked for people who are going to stand up and have the courage to say, this isn't right what's going on, but yet, where are they, right? At the end of the day, what's going on has been going on for too long, and I'm sick of it, right? I want you to look at who's here. Like Mr. Sean said, the mayor's not here. The NAACP told us that they would be here. The vice president, I think, he's not here, right? It shows you who cares about the city, right? It shows you who cares about, what's going on in your day-to-day life. It's no reason why my campaign advisors sent multiple emails for no response. This is for Attorney General, Mr. Brown. Hey, you don't want to do your job, we're going to call for your resignation too as well, because enough is enough. We cannot continue this way of living and expect that things are going to change. We need real change, we need real results, and we need right now. Thank you, Mr. Sean, for the fight that you continue to do every single day, not just for your wife, but for every person that's working in this city government, because like you said, we are the voice for the people. It's time for change. If you don't want to do the job, we asking for your resignation. We shouldn't be here right now, but we're here for a reason. And we're here to let people know that Mr. Conaway, you're doing a terrible job. Mr. Brown, you're doing a terrible job protecting the citizens. We need accountability, we need transparency, and that's why we're here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Wendell. Very, very much appreciated. This fight is going to continue. This is only just the beginning. Let me get a little louder on this one. This is only just the beginning. There's a lot more coming. There's a lot more information coming out about what goes on in that building. Listen up. And what goes on in that building. So you all keep on watching. We keep watching the news because they can't ignore what's going on but for so long. They can't ignore what's happening in the city of Baltimore. They can't ignore the fact that civil rights and human rights are being violated. Disgustingly violated. Sexual harassment, retaliation, over and over and over again. Because a spoiled child is now the clerk of the court, firing people who are old enough to be his mother and father, old enough to be his grandparents, unduly firing people, unduly demoting people. This is what's going on in this building. And I see some of the employees walking by with their lunches. They're either coming from lunch or you're going to lunch. You know what Xavier is doing in there, but you won't speak up. You know what Helen Bentley did. That's right, walk away. The truth hurts, doesn't it? You know what these people have done in that building, and you don't say anything because you're scared. And frankly, I can't blame you for being scared If you've got somebody who's going to use disciplinary actions against you for the slightest, least little thing, who's going to force you to do things you don't want to do under duress. So people, what's been going on in the circuit courts for Baltimore City, and the judges don't want to hear it. Hey judges, I don't blame you for not wanting to hear it, because you know it's the truth and you haven't done anything. Each and every one of you, with your black robes, you've done nothing, and you let this mess happen in your courthouse, and you haven't done anything. Annapolis, the state court administrator, Judy Rupp. Yeah, Judy, I'm naming you. The state court administrator, Judy Rupp, has done nothing. Nothing to protect the employees that are under her protection as the head of the administrative office of the courts. So everyone who's listening, for you employees who are out, who are inside the building, inside this building, you can hear my words, even though they wanted us to keep it down, because I'm sure Xavier can hear it, and he's huddled up in the fetal positions in his office, because he doesn't want to come out and face the music, and the employees are scared, so they're walking around the other side. They don't want to come in this side. They don't want to be seen looking at the protest. They don't want to be told on. Did you look at the protest? Were you out there? We're gonna tell Xavier that you were looking at the protest. Well, that's why they ran away, because they're scared it's gonna get back to the clerk of the court, that they would have the audacity to stand and listen to that protest against him, against the union, ask me, against the Attorney General, Anthony Brown, who's done nothing to protect the citizens of Baltimore City, who are employees in this building. That's right, ladies, go ahead and your lunches. Enjoy yourself. So, this is what's going on, and I would like to, if he'll get out of his truck. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Will. Will Hanna. No, he's not going to get told. He's right here. To get out of his truck. Yeah. Well, you're going to get out of your truck and say a few words. Just a minute. No, they won't. Just a minute. You can pull over just a minute and say a couple of words, Will. And get back in your truck. Come on, you're ex-military. Don't do that to me. You're ex-military. Don't do that. Anyway, the fight will continue, even though the employees in these buildings are scared. They don't want to protest because they know they'll be retaliated against a spoiled child who is the clerk of the court. Okay. We have Will Hanna. Will, please say a few words. Good afternoon. The only thing I want to say is that anytime that there's an injustice or anytime that there's a civil rights violation against any one of us, it could have been any one of us. So anytime it happens to any of us, it could have been any single one of us. You know, we all have probably family members that have worked in either of these buildings. We probably have people that we know that have worked in either of these buildings. And if those are the conditions that they're working in, then it's important. It should be important to a lot of people, not even just the people that are here. This should not be a representation of the people that this impacts. So that's what I would say. Sean, I'll be here to continue to support and fight. And then whatever we have to do in any other arena going forward. But you definitely have my support. You and your wife. Thank you. Thank you, Will. And all the employees, that's why we're out here. We're out here for the employees who would love to be out here, but they're scared of retaliation and what's going to happen. And we have 1 hour. We're almost at the end of our hour for our permit. And the police are on standby, ready to kick us out exactly at 1. Yeah, I'm talking. Hey, guys. Yeah, okay. So they're on standby, ready to kick us out at once. So we're gonna include and Crystal. Crystal Parker. Good luck. Thank you, sir. Crystal Parker, a few more words, and then we'll wrap up.
Good afternoon, everyone. So initially I wasn't going to be able to come today, and then this morning didn't start off as the greatest morning, but I had the opportunity to go through and really kind of look at some of the complaints. And as a resident, as a citizen, a lot of times we just talk about we're impacted by the end result, the court system being too slow, us not getting the documents we need, just the horrendous things that we go through as citizens. But we're not aware of what's going on inside that creates that atmosphere. And so I was quite appalled when I was reading a lot of the complaints to know that these types of things are going on inside of our court system, which is supposed to be our first level of adjudication for any types of crimes. These are crimes. They're just crimes against morality, crimes against a person, crimes against people who are serving us. Our people, the people that work in the court systems, they're first line workers as well. They're on the front lines for us. And when you do things that impacts their morale, when you do things that impacts their mental stability, and their lives and their whole beings in danger, that impacts the general public. And so it creates the form that we sit in now, where we have a city where there's so much lagging and there's so much degradation as far as us not having the type of services that we should have as citizens. When the workers or the employees are not being taken care of, how do you expect that to trickle down to the citizens of Baltimore? So it's a full circle impact. So will continue to stand on this issue. It needs to be exposed. There should be more people here than are here, but these are things that we don't know. I had no idea. No idea. And just thank you for, bringing this to the forefront, and I will continue to stand with you and fight however I can.
Thank you, Crystal. And we're going to wrap up. There will be other protests. This is just the first. We're just starting this off. This is just the beginning. And we're going to make sure that we inform the citizens, that we want Xavier Conaway to resign. Xavier Conaway needs to resign for what he's done to the employees and for the malfeasance that he is creating in this circuit court. Thank you, everyone. Take care.